Testing the mic levels here. Testing the mic levels here. All right. What's up, everybody? Grimm Green back here today. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. It is Tuesday, bro. Tuesday. How's everything look? How's everything sound? As I said, thank you guys so much for joining me. We're gonna be going over some news and stuff like that. There's kind of just been a lot going on. A lot of news articles coming out. A lot of stuff I've read that I've really liked. Some stuff I've read that is just terrible, but otherwise, we're still in quarantine. We're still in lockdown. How's everybody doing? Hang on one sec. Let me turn up this light a little bit. Is that better? How's that sound? Is that better? That sound. How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing this afternoon? Yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo. Welcome. I know I said no dabbing in the chat earlier, but I was just messing with you. You guys can dab. Yeah, British eyes, just let them dab. Just let everybody. It's cool. It's cool. It's whatever. So we're here to talk about some news, you guys. There's just been a lot going on. I wanted to talk about some things that are going on in the United Kingdom. They've recently updated their vaping evidence, which I love. It's great. We're going to read some of that. We're going to read a few. We're not going to read a few things. We have one particular thing that I'm just going to read. I just have no choice but to read it. Yeah, I'm rocking the my social. Can I see this? Get the microphone out of the way here. Social distancing. I don't have a website for these t-shirts yet because I am a slacker, but they do exist. Maybe this is it. Is that it? Yeah, okay, here we go. There they are. There they are. I'm going to put a link to these in the chat if anybody's interested. These aren't, I don't make any money. This isn't a sponsored thing. My merch guy Danny made up some t-shirts and he sent them over to me and I was like, dude, these are cool. These are awesome. These are social distancing. This is so topical right now, so topical right now. And even after all of this passes, I'm sorry, British eyes. I'm sorry, British eyes, but you don't have any real authority here to begin with other than the blue wrench, which can be taken away. I'm just kidding, British eyes. Damn it. I don't know why I give you such a hard time. But as I was saying, I like you, British eyes. I don't mean to give you a hard time. You're just, for some reason, I feel like I want to pick on you all the time. And that's a mean thing to do. You're so nice and you send me gifts and you send me coils and you send me big coils. And then I just turn around. I treat you like Dwayne. That's the thing. So I apologize, British eyes. I treat you like a little bit like Dwayne. There's a link there in the chat if anybody wants to check out these t-shirts. He does all of them. Social distancing, pandemic, and then the stay home with the burrito and I don't know. It was really cool. I just thought they were really cool. I wanted to make sure I wore one because nobody sees me anymore. Unless I'm on a stream, the only person that sees me is my wife. And so I can wear this t-shirt. I'll be like, Pickle, check out my dope shirt. She's like, I know. I've seen it a bunch already. I just washed it for you and folded it for you, actually. And I'm like, I know, but look, cool. It's a cool new shirt. I can't go out in public. I can't show people this t-shirt because social distancing, ironically enough. And even after all this is done, after COVID is done, my authority will not be questioned. Even after all this is done, after COVID is done, after lockdown is whatever, and we do eventually get back to whatever normal life that we will get back to, we're going to remember this. I'm going to remember this. I'm going to have some Grimm Army masks. I'm going to remember this time, this really weird time when you thought that the United States couldn't get any weirder. COVID says, hold my beer. COVID says, hold my beer. But everything should be going normally. The super chats should all be going normally. YouTube is warning me that you may experience buffering. It's the middle of the day. Everybody's on lockdown. I apologize for any buffering that you may experience, but you're going to be experiencing some... apparently, you're going to be experiencing some buffering. So the first thing I wanted to mention is actually here. This is on Twitter. This is actually on Twitter. Where's my bookmarks? Phil, why didn't I bookmark this? Wow, I really thought I bookmarked this. Phil and Dimitri are doing a live stream tonight that I'm going to watch it. I'm going to try to call in because I would like to ask some questions, but they're having Alex Norcia on, who, if you're not super familiar with who Alex Norcia is, journalist, reporter. He's one of the few journalist news reporters out there that actually has done a little bit of a deep dive into vaping. He writes for Vice, and a lot of the articles that have come out of Vice, even one of the last ones that came out where Alex was writing about how the FDA finally admits no link between vaping and cigarette smoking and COVID. Alex Norcia, very smart dude, very prolific writer. He's going to be on with Phil and Dimitri. And that's the thing is, I'll go back in Dimitri's timeline to try to find this tweet. Oh, there it is, right at the top. Twitter moves so fast that even if you wanted to go back in time and try to find someone's tweet, it's like, you're never going to find this tweet. Never. It's like 30 tweets down, and it was only 10 minutes ago. It's gone forever unless you bookmarked it. It's gone. So tonight's show featuring guest Alex Norcia. Here you go. This is from Dimitri on the Okay, Nick. What are you trying to do? Showing your phone? How about that? Is that any better? Nope. Live show tonight featuring Alex Norcia. Call in with questions and comments. I'll just put this link down in the description of this video. I thought that Phil and Dimitri's show was called The Smokers Show, but I guess maybe they have a new show now called The DP. Is that really what it's called? The DP Show. Dimitri and Phil, I know, The DP Show. That's just funny. And they're having Alex Norcia on. So I think that's spectacular. I'm going to watch that tonight, and I would encourage everybody, literally everybody watching right now, to definitely go watch this live stream tonight. Let me jump on. Let me do this super chat real quick. Came here from Texas Mama. I saw you there, Texas Mama. Thank you for coming to Caitlin's party last night and her birthday gift. Absolutely, Texas Mama. Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having us there. Thank you for including us in Caitlin's birthday party. Casey and I were both legitimately really looking forward to that. We were talking about it like 2 days before. We kept talking about Monday's Caitlin's birthday. I'm stoked. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for Caitlin's birthday. I hope she had a great birthday. I hope she likes the gifts, and nothing but love to you. I appreciate that, Texas Mama. Very much appreciate that. So yeah, let's talk about let's address just real quickly. Look, before we get into like news things, like news things, like newsy news thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. I want to address the hotspot thing, okay? I didn't get a chance to do it in the live stream. There was some comments on that video and people seemed like I had just punched their mother in the mouth or something. It was a hotspot. That's all it was. I did a live stream yesterday where I built the QP Designs. What the crap is this even called? GATA RTA. Did a little live stream. It's about 40 minutes long. And I tried an M-Turk coil and it didn't work. And so, I kind of gave up on that and this, that, and the other. And people were, really upset that I just gave up on that M-Turk coil so quickly. And the truth is, I probably could have stuck with it. I probably could have unwound it. I probably could have wound it back up. I probably could have put it on there. I just decided not to do that. I don't know why. It's me and it's my YouTube. I can do what I want. So I decided to put a round wire build on there. So I just threw a round wire build on there. I put this QP design with the round wire build on the DNA 250C, and it kept reading it double the resistance that it was. It kept reading it at like a 0.7, 0.8, really high. Additionally, I had my wattage turned up to 78 watts or something like this. And so I fired it, and the combination of the wrong resistance reading, way too high of a wattage, mostly dry cotton, those three things, when I hit the fire button, it was just red. Just was glowing red for like a split second. I didn't see it, and a lot of people in the viewing, in the audience didn't see it either. And I'm thinking there was no hotspots. I checked it. There was no hotspots. There can't possibly be any hotspots. So I put it together. I filled it all up, and the chat was going crazy. So I said, okay, I'll take it apart. I re-glowed it, made sure, verified that there were no hotspots, and then I vaped it. But people really freaked out. I mean, maybe it was a little bit of carelessness. Maybe it was a little bit of, I've wicked things so many times. It just was like auto response. I can do that with my eyes closed now. I didn't see the hotspot because I was facing away from me at the camera. Huge hotspot. And I made a post about it on YouTube. And look, I really do appreciate everyone trying to keep me safe. That chat yesterday lit up. Lit up with comments. Hotspot, 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 hotspot. But really, the worst thing, the absolute worst thing that would have happened in a situation like that is I would have just been uncomfortable for a few minutes. The worst case scenario is that the wire would have just melted and it would have stopped firing. If that didn't happen, the cotton would have just burnt and I would have inhaled some burnt cotton, and then the wire would have melted and then it would have stopped firing. That's the absolute worst thing that would have happened. I appreciate everyone keeping me safe. I will keep an eye out for hotspots. I won't blast a 0.4 at like 90 watts with no liquid on the coil. At the very least, I feel it was entertaining and everything got corrected in the end. And as just a quick update, the QP design, it's been doing pretty awesome. This GATA, it's been pretty rad, even on this little clutch mech. The clutch mech, someone asked me in the chat, why'd you put that on a mech? Don't you want to adjust your wattage down since it's, mouth to lung? Usually, yes. In this case, I wanted to use it on a mech for aesthetic purposes. Just liked the way this looks so much. And I've been using it, and he's right. It's a little bit warm for mouth to lung. I feel like it's just a hair too much power. So I'm going to go on a mission, try to find a regulated mod for this little tank so we can crank that wattage down. But otherwise, this has been, thank you, Ian. I thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. That live review, that live build, that was just a big experiment. I thought of that morning and I was like, I want to try this today. And so that's how it happened. That's kind of how it happened altogether though. There you go. Addy Tooney. Thank you for that link in the description. Live in 2 hours, May, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 6 p.m. here. We'll be way done by then. Yeah. Fire breathing does suck. I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. I appreciate you guys looking out for me. But exactly, Addie, like nobody gets it right every single time. Nobody does. And even me, after doing this, I mean, not building for 10 years, but I guess let's say been building since like 2012, maybe 2013, even after that long. Yeah, we'll still mess up. I'll have a hot spot. I'll burn my coil. I'll over drip or whatever. It's just, I can't get it right every single time. And I try my best. And that's I think that's the most anyone can ask for. Brad, would you use the Kylan V2? Sure. I haven't tried it, but I would like to. I would like to try the Kylan. I liked the Kylan V1. I don't know why I wouldn't enjoy the Kylan V2. Thanks for the Gotcha video. Your puckered face convinced me that the airflow was tight enough for me. Yeah, you can turn it down pretty tight. That's full open. Yeah, you can turn it down pretty tight. It's not like Joule tight or pod system tight. Stay hydrated, hydro homies. So yeah, I just wanted to cover that. Just wanted to correct whatever happened there. You know, I made a post on YouTube shortly after with a picture of the hotspot being like, okay, you guys look at this fucking hotspot. Like, that was insane. I'm kind of impressed that I had that catastrophic of a hotspot. That was a rare thing. It just happened live. It happened live, and unless you were there, you didn't know the magic. You don't know the magic that was there. First thing I wanted to talk about today, as far as the news world goes, is I saw a tweet from on Twitter, a group called thr101.org. And apparently this is a website that I didn't know about until like literally a few days ago. Really cool website, very resourceful, Tobacco Harm Reduction 101. This 9 hours ago, well, let's see, 9 hours ago, I guess now, Lindsay Stroud had posted this graphic. We're talking about the YRBSS. So the YRBSS is actually a real thing. The YRBSS is the Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance. It's almost like the National Youth Tobacco Survey, but not quite. This focuses less on strictly tobacco, nicotine, usage. This is more overall youth risky behavior type of situation. And they do this, every year. They break it down by states, things like that. And so what we have here from thr101.org is Missouri. Missouri's 2019 YRBSS Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance Study. Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance Study, Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance Study, Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance Study. Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance Study, Tobacco and Vapor Use Behaviors. So what did they find in Missouri, which I haven't heard anything about Missouri. I know I say Missouri, but I'm just saying that just because I've heard it said that way on cartoons. Like on The Simpsons, they call it Missouri, and I just like saying that. I just like saying Missouri. Joshua Lee, you think I need Hydro Homie stickers? All right, I'll make Stay Hydrated Hydro Homie stickers. That'd be fine. Stay hydrated, Hydro Homies. Look, that's just good advice. You always need you always need hydration. Nepheron, please don't say anything upsetting about vaping for a minute, Grimm Green. I'm chopping veggies and I don't want to chop my finger off. Okay, I won't. In fact, this is all actually pretty good news. What we're going to do today is what we call a good news sandwich, where we're going to start it with some pretty good news, end it with some pretty good news, and in the middle, that's where the rage sweat lives, you see. That's where the news free-for-all rage sweat really comes from. So what did they find in Missouri in 2019 for the Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance Study on tobacco and vapor use behaviors? Stop dragging your feet, Nick. Nearly 80% of Missouri youth did not use an e-cigarette or vapor product in 2019. Yeah, that's great news. 80% of Missouri youth did not use an e-cigarette or vapor product. That's incredible. That's incredible. And like I was saying earlier, I've never heard, I'm not going to say never, I just haven't heard, at least to my knowledge, of anything happening in Missouri. Flavor bans happening in Missouri, big tax spikes, hikes happening in Missouri on vapor products, use laws in Missouri. I've heard nothing. I've heard nothing about Missouri. Missouri seems to just be sitting down there minding its own business and not really getting involved in this, PAVE sort of youth vaping epidemic that people are talking about, which PAVE will always make me chuckle. PAVE will make me chuckle until PAVE isn't an organization anymore, because Parents Against Vaping, that is comedy. Comedy. Anyway, Parents Against Vaping. Only 6.9% of Missouri youth used an e-cigarette or vapor product every day. This is when we get into the nuances of this topic, right? So it's not just, did you use it or did you not use it? It's, did you use it every day? Did you use it every week? Did you use it only once? Did you only try it? Did you only experiment a few times, or is this daily use? Because those distinctions are, I think, really, really very, very important when we're talking about youth use of vapor products, because it can't all just be lumped into either they did yes or they didn't no. There's not, not everything is black and white like that. Not everything can be lumped into just two groups like that. It's one of the things that frustrates me about YouTube and their community guidelines regarding nicotine, because I have to mark my videos as, I literally have to mark my videos as like drug related content. I have to tell YouTube that I am glorifying the use of drugs in an entertaining way. That's how YouTube sees me. They go, Grimm Green, there he is. And, showing drug use in an entertaining way. I have to tell that to YouTube. And that's not what I'm doing at all. That's what fits inside your box, but that's not what's going on. What's happening over here doesn't fit inside your YouTube box. Nuances, nuances to the discussion. Flavors, no one's going to be surprised by this. Who's going to be surprised by this? Hang on, Boxcar Rick has a chat for me. Can we give a little encouragement to @BabyNut to come back to vaping and learn to start rebuildables instead of sub-tanks, toss the ciggies, and start vaping again? Yeah, of course. Who's BabyNut? @BabyNut? Who's BabyNut? I don't care if you're a big crybaby Texas mom. I'm a big crybaby too. I'm a sensitive creature. I'm a big, big softie. Sure, BabyNut, come back to vaping. Start with rebuildables instead of sub-tanks and toss the ciggies and start vaping again. It's one of those things. I promise we're going to get back to this YRBSS in 1 second. That Boxcar Rick is one of those things. That's why I exist. That's why YouTube vapors exist. That's why this community exists, because it's not a one-size-fits-all thing, man. You can't just go from cigarette smoking and be like, here, try this. And then they try it, and it's like, oh, I don't like that. Ooh, different things and different products for different people, and some people vape for a little bit, and then they're like, oh, I don't like this anymore, and then they'll go back to cigarettes. And that's why the support group, I think, of the vape industry and like what we call the vape community that I love being a part of, that's the support group. They always say quitting smoking is much more successful when you have a support group, when you have counseling or a support group or something like that. And maybe I've said this before, maybe I've said this 1,000 times. I think we're that support group. I think British Eyes, as much shit as I give him, British Eyes is part of that support group. And I am confident with every fiber of my being that if a smoker went up to Ryan, went up to British Eyes and was curious about vaping, British Eyes would help that person, no questions asked. Maybe to like his own fault. Maybe like, I'll just build you coils. What exactly do you want? I think all of us would be willing to do that. And I think that's what makes vaping so overwhelmingly successful. Yeah, it's great. It's the hand to mouth. It's the nicotine. You can self-administer and keep yourself satisfied. And yes, on top of that, but also this group, this community, that's what helps people really stick with it. And I personally have had, I've seen things that not a lot of people see. And I've seen people's struggles go up and down with smoking and vaping and nicotine and smoking and vaping and nicotine. And there's some people, in my inbox right now that I've been talking to back and forth through emails for literally like months. I'll get an email from someone and, this is all far too common of an occurrence. And this is what makes me believe in the power of the vape community, the power that we can all do this. He was a smoker. He started vaping. He got into vaping, subscribed to Rip Tripper, subscribed to J-Hay, subscribed to Grimm Green, becomes a Grimm Green patron, and then his mod breaks. And then he doesn't have wire. Ran out of liquid. He got a loaner mod, and he hates his liquid. And then 2 weeks later, he's back on cigarettes, and then he's not in part of my feed anymore. And then they'll come back always and email me, and I get that, hey, I was a big fan. I was a vapor. I had a sub-ohm tanks and I had all this stuff. Unfortunately, it got lost, stolen, broken, whatever, burnt. My batteries died. I ran out of liquid. So I went back to cigarettes. And it's up to us to like, come on, come back over. Just come back over. The technology's gotten better. We're all here to help. You know, I'm here to help. We're all here to help. We can all help you. There's no need, you know, there's no reason to be ashamed. There's no stigma attached to it. I don't care if you're a vapor. I don't care if you're a dual user. I don't care if you're a dual user. If you say, GrimmGreen, I am a vapor, but I still cannot go to bed without a cigarette, and I just have to smoke a cigarette before I go to bed. That's a win to me. That's a win to me. Maybe someday you'll give up that last cigarette, but IMO, that is a win. This is about harm reduction. This is about helping people always. And we have to help people that have fallen out of vaping, maybe get them back into, maybe not. Maybe that's not for them, you know? But I would like it to be for them because it works so well. I think everybody should get to quit smoking the way that we got to quit smoking, you know? That's something I feel very, very strongly about. It's getting warm up in here. If my wife is watching the stream and she can hear me, I love you. Could you turn on the air conditioning? Please. Ranger Man, very gracious of you. Promise we're going to get back to this in 1 second. I'm in Massachusetts. Interesting. But I'll make day trips to NH for my vapes before I go back to butts. Yeah, no COPD for me. Yeah, hell yeah, Ranger Man. Here's the thing. Yeah, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is rough. You got Charlie Baker up there who really, really hates vaping. It feels like, to me, it feels like Charlie Baker and Gretchen Whitmer. Lovely. What a wonderful person Gretchen Whitmer is. It feels like Governor Charlie Baker and Governor Gretchen Whitmer are having like a contest that nobody knows about to see who can be the most tyrannical politician in the country. You know, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. Oh, I heard it kick on, Pickle. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's crazy. And Governor Gretchen Whitmer, what I like about, sorry, I got a little adjustment here. What I love about Governor Gretchen Whitmer is that not a lot of people like her, and she is falling under some really harsh criticisms from the rest of the world now. You know, before it was just vapors versus Whitmer. Just vapors versus Whitmer. And maybe because of my liquid company being forced to close down by turning us into criminals and forcing us to close our doors, maybe that's why I have this like personal vendetta against Whitmer. Her and Charlie Baker just want to be the most tyrannical people on earth, and it makes no sense. And I'm glad that people are catching on, and I'm glad that people other than vapors are kind of looking at people like Governor Gretchen Whitmer or Cuomo, who's on the cover of Rolling Stone this month, in a negative way, in a we're your constituents kind of way. What the crap are you doing? What the crap are you doing? That's the whole thing, isn't it, British Eyes? That's the whole thing. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, she's on that short list for the VP spot if Biden wins. It sounds so ridiculous when you say it out loud like that. Unbelievable. She's on that short list, man, along with people that we love like Kamala Harris. Woo! Great. Sorry. For those that don't get sarcasm, that is sarcasm. I'm realizing there are groups of people in the world now that don't understand sarcasm, so that's for my wife. Sarcasm. Right there. She's on that short list for the VP spot, and I think she's just trying to do everything she can to do it, to get it. I think she's puffing up her chest. I think she's really flexing hard and like, oh no, I'm a strong politician and I'm hard on vaping and I want to protect the kids. And I think she's just doing it, and I think she's just going to self-destruct. I hope. I hope she self-destructs. That would be fantastic. So let's get back to this Missouri. Wait, did I leave the graphic up here this whole time? Okay. I thought I was going to leave this whole thing up here the whole time. Didn't even show it yet. That's how far we've gotten into this. So This next sentence, back to Missouri. Sorry, we're shifting gears again. It's just, we're just doing, we're drifting here. We're just hard right back into the Missouri 2019 YRBSS survey. Or actually, it would just be the YBRS survey. Flavors, ready for this? Who's going to be shocked? Flavors are not the number one reason why youth initiate e-cigarette use. Flavors are not the number one reason. Isn't that fascinating? This is the second place now, apart from the CDC's National Youth Tobacco Survey data. This is the second place now that shows, again, that flavors are not the driving factor behind youth initiation with e-cigarettes. It still is curiosity. Even on this, curiosity. 25.7% of the Missouri youth that do vape said they vape because they got it from a friend or family member. Friend or family member. Friend or family member. No flavors. So let's look at this chart. This is a great chart. I will post a link. Oh, the logo too. I will post a link to this chart, to this particular tweet. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see all of this very well, but there's a few parts that are highlighted here. There's a few parts that are highlighted here. And one of those, that first blue highlight, percentage of students who do not use electronic vapor products. What's that number right there? 79.3%. 79.3%. You keep hearing from the CDC, from the FDA, from things like this. Millions of youths are vaping, right? Millions. 5 million, 6 million. The number just keeps over 5 million youths now. How is that even possible when 80% of youths, even in just this one state, are not vaping? When 79.3% right there, crystal clear, not vaping. They're just simply not vaping. So the good news is, it looks like, you guys, it looks like there's not a youth vaping epidemic. It looks like that might have been a little bit unfounded. I know, it's weird. It looks like that there wasn't a whole lot of weight behind that youth vaping epidemic, Scott Gottlieb. I'm sure we're going to get an apology, retraction, evidence update from FDA, from Scott Gottlieb to reflect, this new information clearly showing that youths aren't vaping and the ones that were cigarette smokers beforehand. I'm sure that's, again, sarcasm is coming in pretty strong here. I'm sure we'll get that. We'll get that apology, right, guys? Chunkmeister, what do you have to say? It's not the ones you smoke, it's the ones you don't. It's not the ones you smoke, it's the ones you don't. Yes, absolutely. Because the ones you don't can undo the ones you did. If you quit smoking, your health improves exponentially almost immediately. Almost immediately. And I'm assuming that's something that we all experienced the moment we switched to vaping. I did. Who didn't? Who didn't feel better instantly after switching to vaping? I felt a quadrillion times better. I remember so vividly my first full night of sleep after I started vaping. Because prior to that, when I was a cigarette smoker, I would get up in the middle of the night every single night to go in the kitchen, hack my lungs out, and drink a glass of water. Because I am smart and I smoke right before I go to bed and I smoke first thing in the morning. So I was waking up in the middle of the night literally just to cough. And I didn't want to wake my girlfriend up at the time. So I would get out of bed, I'd go in the kitchen, I'd just cough my dick off and I'd drink a bunch of water and I'd be like, go back to bed. Really looking forward to that cigarette tomorrow, I wonder if it's having any sort of effect on me. Yeah, it was. And when that becomes really, really apparent is when you quit, dude. When you quit and you switch to vaping, I remember sleeping through the night. I woke up in the morning and I said, did I get up last night? I must have. It was one of those things. It just been going on for so long. I just assumed, I must have, right? I must have. I can't tell last night from the night before, from the night before, and the night before, because it happens every single fucking night. I get up and hack my lungs out and then drink a glass of water. That stopped happening almost right away. Within days, I kept sleeping through the night. Your sense of smell slowly comes back. Your sense of taste slowly comes back. It's incredible. You stop being winded. You start feeling better instantly. Instantly. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. What? Okay, let's move. Moving back on to this Missouri thing. Maybe we're not going to get to everything I wanted to talk about tonight. What is the main reason? They ask these youth, these high school youths. Yo, Nick, people in chat. What's up? What's up, SVA World? I want to give a shout out to SVA World right now, okay? I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling like I want to spread the love. Yep, I would wake up, Thomas Crow. I would wake up, cough my head off, go smoke, and then go back to bed. And now, with Clouds Bro Clouds, we're all sleeping through the night, man. No more waking up in the middle of the night. And I felt so stupid and so like ashamed of that every single night. I'm in the kitchen, and some nights you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Some nights you're just pissed off. Some nights you don't even care. You're like, this is the new normal. This is just my normal now. This is just my normal now. It's amazing when you don't have to do that anymore. It's amazing when you can go watch a movie. One of the biggest things for me with vaping, switching from deadly combustible tobacco cigarettes to a far less harmful, clean nicotine source of vaping, my favorite thing was watching a movie. Dude, my brother and I, when we lived together, we would smoke constantly. We were just chain smokers, but we never smoked inside. We had a strict rule: you smoke outside. You don't smoke in the house, you smoke outside. We had a code word for smoking. We called them speed racks. And that's just a really long story, but we were like, you want to go speed rack? And we're like, yeah, sure. It's like every 15, 20 minutes, we'd be watching a movie, just pause to go smoke cigarettes, watch another 20 minutes, pause, go smoke cigarettes, watch another 20 minutes, pause, go smoke cigarettes. And I remember sitting there watching a movie when I normally would have like paused and gone outside and smoked some cigarettes, and I was just vaping. And I remember thinking, I'm going to watch this whole movie. I'm going to watch this whole movie right now because I don't have to go outside and light a tobacco stick on fire and then inhale the smoke that's coming off of it just to get my nicotine. Now I can satisfy my nicotine craving with less harmful, clean nicotine vapor products. Ding! Yeah. So that, apart from greatly improving your life, that's one of the best things. So I want to give a shout out to SVA World. You've been doing some great videos lately, man. I really enjoyed them on YouTube and on Instagram. Really like it. Keep doing it. I don't know if you were gone for a little bit or if you were just off on the side and now you're coming back or whatever. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm really enjoying them. Really enjoying them, SVA World. If you're not subscribed to SVA World, it's a wonderful British bloke. Go check him out. He's doing some good stuff. Yeah, exactly, New Wave Dave. Exactly. I used to take, New Wave Dave in the chat says, I used to take 4 hours to watch an hour and a half movie. Yep. It was the same way. I was the same way. 4 hours to watch an hour and a half movie just because of cigarettes. So they ask these youths here in Missouri, let's see, I'm going to make this bigger. Let's make this bigger. Let's get real close on this data right here. What is the main reason you have used electronic vapor products? 25% friend or family member used them. So curiosity. Don't discredit curiosity. Curiosity is a severe youth thing. And it's like once you turn like 21 in your 20s, you just forget about that. You forget about being so curious as a kid, but you're curious about everything as a kid. Everything. Hot stove? That's right. What do you think that? Yeah, touch the hot stove? Hot. Stupid kid, burn your hand. I don't know. I was curious. Booze? What's this beer taste like? Kind of gross. Still curious. What's the other liquor taste like? I don't know. I'm curious. I just want to taste it. I'm curious. Youths are curious. It'd be ridiculous if they weren't. That's insane. You're curious about so many things. Curious about that. Curious about that. Curious why I can't stay up that late. Curious why I can't watch this movie. Number one reason given, curiosity, friend or family member used them. And then in almost dead last place, they are available in flavors such as mint, candy, fruit, or chocolate. I would also like to point out that whenever we're talking about the flavor argument, right? We're talking about the flavor argument. It's never just the flavors, is it? They always say fruity flavors like gummy bears and strawberry cotton candy, and the packaging has cartoon eyeballs on it. And, you know, vapors, I used to personally, very personally, get in a real big tiff, a lot of rage sweat from poorly branded e-liquid bottles. I was on that hill for a really long time. A really long time. That always gets brought up, and I've never once seen or heard a youth say, oh, I picked up vaping because the 60 mil e-liquid bottle had like googly cartoon eyes on it, and I just had to have it. So I bought a mod and a sub-ohm tank, and so I could buy this bottle of e-liquid with googly eyes on it. They use it as like evidence that, well, evidence right there. Look at these bright colors, milkshake. This is clearly and exclusively only intended for children. We have no children, no youth is buying this. They're just not. They couldn't care less about these contraptions that Scott Godlin. We bring this up all the time. They could care less about these contraptions that we use for vaping. But they constantly still get brought up. Constantly, well, this one looks like a Game Boy. Yeah, it does look like a Game Boy. And you know who's buying that? Not middle schoolers, because they probably don't have the $250+ it costs to buy it. They probably don't have the knowledge to be able to use it. And it's a big, clunky, weird device. We know what the youths are after. They want to get high. They want to get high, and they don't want their parents to know. And when you have overly strict parents, you just create kids that are great liars. Great liars. Let me do this quick super chat here. I saw something pop up there. Chat was moving pretty fast. I kind of missed it. Oh, come on. YouTube is just the worst. I don't know. It won't show me any super chats. All right. There it is. British Eyes. British Eyes. Oh, thank you, man. You made my whole week just now. The community is what keeps me going, and I have and would build people coils just to get them off of cigarettes. LOL. Yo, you rule. Hotspot. Chorky. DBITD. Call. Oh, Cali Sage. Yeah. Bud thee. Thanks, Bud thee. And I know that, I know that about you, British Eyes. And it's not just because I've met you or interacted with you. It's because you're a vapor and you're on the Instagram and you're putting yourself out there. And by doing that, you're making yourself a resource. Whether you think you are or not, you've made yourself a resource. Other people are going to go, well, British Eyes, he's a builder. British Eyes, he's a vapor. You want to quit smoking? My buddy British Eyes. I know British Eyes. Maybe he can help. By putting yourself out there, you made yourself a resource. And that's a really good thing to do. It's a really good, I respect the crap out of that. Vaping with Super Clouds. I have not seen your reviews, man, but I'll check it out. Why not? I always like watching YouTubers. Matt Sinister, very gracious of you. I replaced cigarettes with hookah and began vaping during my last year going to hookah. But even with hookah, ridding my body of stinkies changed everything. Yeah, absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. And there's people who recreationally will vape because they recreationally, socially hookah'd or use a hookah or something like that. In fact, I remember getting sideways looks at a lounge in Las Vegas one time because we were sitting in this lounge in Las Vegas outside. It was kind of near, strip adjacent or something like that. And good Lord, see, now all my super chats are just populating. That's insane. And it was a hookah bar, and I was there with my mod, and people were, doing the hookah and blowing it out. And I remember taking this huge rip on my mod and turning around at this guy. And he was turning around like, it was just one of those awkward, like, he's turning, I'm turning. We kind of locked eyes, like just for a second. It was weird. And he had his hookah thing. And I just exhaled a weather system out of my mouth. And he like looked around and saw that I had no hookah anywhere. And he just turned back around like he was just the most confused person on earth. Hookah. I don't know why I launched into that story, but hookah's a thing. Ridding your body of stinkies will change everything. It'll change everything. And there's a whole mess of super chats that I definitely didn't get to yet. And I apologize. We're going to get to those in just a minute. But I want to finish up. Did we get to everything on this? Yes. They are available in flavors such as mint, candy, fruit, or chocolate. Chocolate? You don't vape chocolate flavor? Nobody really vapes chocolate flavors because the chocolate flavors are kind of always gross. 13%. Almost dead last place. Some other reason. 33.6 just said some other reason. Some other reason. Kids are dumb. They don't know what they're talking about. Why'd you do that? Curious. Why'd you vape? Oh, the mod was yellow. Unbelievable. Sorry. It's a vape break. We're going to take a hydro homies and a vape break. I haven't vaped this whole stream, and I keep handling this BMI touch and looking at my rye RDA and looking at my ohm shake, and I'm like, I would like to vape you, please. So I'm just going to have a little vape sesh. Oh, no. I'm out of water. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Zero friends. You don't have zero friends. You have me. Howdy, GrimmGreen. Sending love from the Philippines. Much love back at you there from the crazy clown world of the United States of America. It's a crazy. Peace out, SVA world. I'll see you on the interwebs. Golden Ticket is the best chocolate flavor ever. British Eyes. Golden Ticket, I think, is the only chocolate flavor that's vapeable. It's the only chocolate flavor that's vapeable. Very gracious of you vaping with Super Clouds. Cheers to you, man. Smoking kills, vaping thrills. It could be that, and that's sometime at some point when this is all over, we do maybe need to work on vaping's like PR, like how we appear to people like in the world. What are their thoughts on a hydro delivery? Thank you, Casey Pickle. Love you. My wife brought me water. She's keeping me hydrated, hydro homies. Loving the rye. If anyone's curious, we're in a little bit of an intermission right now. I just want to vape for a second. Loving the rye. Ohm shake on the inside. Loving it. Chocolate. I've never been able to vape chocolate flavors. The Golden Ticket that British Eyes mentioned earlier was a pretty passable chocolate flavor. And it's the only one that I've had that I was like, this isn't completely terrible, because chocolate flavors eternally, my buddy Adam said this once, and I have not been able to get it out of my head ever since then, but he said vaping chocolate liquids, all he can think of is like little kid hands that are like sticky and chocolatey and sticky, like smells like sticky kid hands. Ever since he said chocolate covered sticky kid hands, chocolate vapes have kind of just grossed me out because I can't not unassociate that. Sticky, gross kid hands. I can't do it. But man, if you know any really good chocolates, like a good milky chocolate type of flavor, hot chocolate, chocolate milk type of flavor, let me know. I'd be more than willing to try it. I haven't tried a chocolate in a long time because they've all put me off so poorly, so bad. Let me do some of these super chats. Happy 420, by the way, for anybody partaking. Woo, shed time. Where did I leave off? Ranger Man, Southern Comfort. Calm me down, a Penny Stein, sign yo pity on the running 9. I don't know what that is, and I don't rap well, And that sounds like it's part of like a rap thing, like a rap guy. And I don't know what that is, Southern Comfort. I might need to hear you say it. Shoot me a video of you rapping those bars. If you rapping those bars, and then we'll get it. Velvet Cloud's Night Shift. All right, here. I'm gonna need to do some bookmarking here. Velvet Cloud's Night Shift. I might have that. I might actually have a bottle of that because I did get some Velvet Cloud stuff. Have you tried Mike Vape's Hit That Boston Cream? I have not. I have not. I want to get some. I want to get some of Mike's liquids though. Ruth's Loot from Freeman Vapes tastes like an authentic chocolate chip cookie. Furry Messiah, are you being for real right now? I don't know if I believe that at all. I'm just kidding. I would like to try it. Chocolates are weird, but I'm looking for some chocolate. Let's give that a try. Freeman Vape. All right. See? Now I have to open tabs so that after this, I know to come back. Pootie Tang, Black Market by Prohibition. All right, I might actually have a bottle of that, Turbo Tony. Which, by the way, Turbo Tony, awesome. I love that you're Turbo Tony. Welcome, Turbo Tony. Appreciate you. Chunkmeister, it's not one of it's the ones you smoke. It's the ones you don't. It's not the ones you smoke. It's the ones you don't, Chunkmeister. Eifer, evening, Nick. Sorry if it's off topic, but I tried the Rise Banana Ice, and while it isn't as good as Glacier Banana, it is really good. Yeah, it's the closest I've had to the Glacier Banana in a while. Those damn Rise bars. I'm off of them now, by the way. I finally got my nicotine back down to 3 milligram, and that's where I want to live. It's like 3 and 12. That's all I can handle. Those Rise bars, I vaped them for like a week, and it's just too much nicotine for me. It's just too much nicotine. And I, being a free, able-bodied, able-minded adult American, I get to decide how much nicotine is too much nicotine for me and how much nicotine is a satisfactory amount of nicotine for me. And I'm here with some 12 milligram Fairy Wings and some 3 milligram Yak Shake. Yak Shake? That's not what it's called. Ohm Shake. I like Yak Shake better. I'm renaming it. Got to get that. Lower that nicotine, baby. Lower that nicotine. British Eyes. You made my whole week just now. I'm going to read it again. The community is what keeps me going, and I would build coils just to keep, and I have and would build coils just to get them off of cigarettes. You rule. Hotspot. Chorky. DBITD. Call Sage. Matt Sinister. Read that one. Thank you, bro. Very gracious of you. Texas Mama. Nick and Casey are family to us. You guys are family to us. Appreciate you, Texas Mama. Really looking forward to some more of those tortillas. Daniel, 2 trips. Seen a few groups of youths hanging around. Cheers, cunts. You're the reason I can't go to the pub because you're not following the rules. How dare they? Those hoodlums. Those freaking hoodlums. Vaping with Super Clouds. Again, very gracious of you. Cheers, brother. Smoking kills, vaping thrills. I'll check you out. In fact, I'm going to Google you right now. Vaping with Super Clouds. We're always vaping with someone. Oh my goodness. Been watching since 2014. My 7-year vape anniversary is last month. Keep vaping. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I mean, congratulations. 7 years. 7 years smoke-free is awesome, and you've been watching since 2014, and that makes me stoked. That legitimately makes me stoked, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that. Joseph, very gracious of you. What are your go-to batteries for vaping? I have used Home Tech for everything for 2 years, and I was wondering what your opinion is. I am jumping firmly today, I think. I need to re-up. It's weird that you asked me about batteries, because Casey and I need to re-up our 18650s. We have destroyed all of our 18650s. I think I'm going to go down the Galisi train. I think the Galisi 18650s are like the banging 18650s right now. Galisi brand in general, I believe, is like the banging battery brand right now. So yeah, Southern Comfort. Anyway, I hope that helps out. It's been probably a year since I've purchased any batteries. I'm a patron of Battery Mooch. I don't follow every 100% of what he does. I just want him to be able to keep doing what he does, and that's why I'm a patron of him. I always check with Battery Mooch. I would suggest you check with Battery Mooch. I'm not a subject matter expert on batteries. I know basics, Ohm's law, battery safety, things like this. But as far as like what are the bomb.com cells to use, we're gonna have to go to Mooch. You know, we're gonna have to go to Mooch for that. Southern Comfort, my vape collection, 20,000 super chat, $5 watching Grimm quote Pootie Tang on a live stream, priceless. Did I quote Pootie Tang? How did I quote Pootie Tang? Did I do it on accident or did I do it on purpose? Because sometimes I do things by, the molicels, right? See, I've heard it's all about molicel now. See, wasn't like 6 months ago, everyone was all about Galices. Everyone's like, Galici, bro, Galici. Now it's molicels. All right. Addie, thank you for that link. That's slowly escaping me in the chat. How does anybody click a link in the chat? Damn, that's annoying. So this is Addie Tooney linked in the chat to Battery Mooch on the ECF. Gracious. I need to get some batteries. And it looks like molicels are the ones we're going to do. Sounds good. Now, the Pootie Tang thing, can anybody... I've never seen Pootie Tang. I don't know what it is. So I hope I didn't do it wrong. Matthew, very gracious of you. Yo, Grimm, shout out to my wife watching for the first time. Just gave my brother a bouquet of liquid, helping him kick the stinkies. Much love. Awesome. Matthew, damn, that's cool. Shout out to your wife, 100% for sure. Thank you for joining us here today. And I hope that your brother just ditches the stinkies like he's never ditched anything before. Jay Hayes has an awesome chocolate chip cookie called Lost Recipe. This is what Joseph says in the chat. Jay Hayes has an awesome chocolate chip cookie called Lost Recipe. All right. Oh, Southern Comfort. Okay, I didn't mean for you to spend $2 more to tell me that. Here, well, let me do it proper. Calm me down, you panty stein. Sign your pity on the running nine. On the runny kind. I still didn't do it right. What I would like to do for maybe the next half hour or so. Okay, thanks, British Eyes. I'll check that. What I'd like to do for maybe the next half hour or so is talk about the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom. This is something that I have been trying to share as much as humanly possible over on Twitter. And that is vaping in England. So this is Public Health England has updated again, the 6th time they've done this. Evidence update, vaping evidence update, March 2020. Spectacular. This is great. March 2020, Public Health England vaping update. Here it is. God, why couldn't I find that? Now, they do these every so often, and this one is good. It deals with everything that Public Health England has been talking about vaping as far as youth use goes, as far as adult youth goes. They're doing a deep dive than the FDA is, than the CDC is. I love, and, I'm not saying that England is some sort of, government utopia and the government's wonderful over there and nobody has any problems with the government or anything like that. I'm sure they do. Of course they do. It would be weird if you didn't have, what's up, Apaka? Bro, I'm so glad to see you here. It would be weird to me if you weren't angry at your government constantly. I feel like there's still obviously going to be some, we're not happy with this, we're not happy with that. And I'm strictly going to be speaking from the way that Public Health England has handled vaping and the way that Public Health England has communicated those potential risks and harms in a very deadpan sort of, here's the facts. Public Health England, here's the facts. That's it. There's no sensationalizing of anything. There's no stretching the truth. There's no just outright lies, like when Jerome Adams, our Surgeon General, goes on Good Morning America and tells people that oh, we have a higher infection rate of COVID because, more kids are vaping. And Gretchen Whitmer does the same thing. In fact, Gretchen Whitmer kind of calls herself out and says, oh, well, maybe there's too little science on this subject. Nice try, Gretchen. Try zero science on this subject. You're just lying. You just made up some lie about COVID and vaping, and you just ran with it. And it was based on nothing. Literally nothing. Literally nothing. But not in the UK. We do vaping in England, evidence updates. So we're going to go through this PDF just a little bit. Aim of this report. This is the 6th report. Better late than never. What are we drinking, Ethan? Water. Stay hydrated, hydro homies. This is the 6th report in a series of independent reports commissioned by Public Health England to summarize evidence on e-cigarettes and to inform policies and regulations. Man, in the UK, you guys, this is weird being an American. The UK bases their regulations and legislation on science, on this what's the word? Evidence. I mean, talk about a weird country that they're using evidence to inform their Okay, sure. Let's read on. Despite reductions in smoking prevalence, smoking remains the biggest single cause of preventable death and disease and the leading cause of health inequalities. So alternative nicotine delivery devices that are less harmful could play a critical role in reducing this health burden. Is this news to anybody here? Of course not. So what I really, really like about Public Health England and the way that they communicate is just very clear, very concise. Have we ever tried to get clear vaping information from the CDC? Have we ever got clear vaping information from the CDC that wasn't, fishy a little bit, right? Maybe they're conflating legal nicotine vaping with illicit, street-bought, contaminated THC cartridges. I feel that's kind of what was going on, I guess. I don't know. What's the CDC think about vaping? What's the CDC going to tell you? No. CDC is not going to tell you about vaping. The CDC is not going to give you any clear, concise information so that you, the informed citizen, can make your own decision. No. Of course they're not going to do that. This is where they talk about this is where they very slightly touch on the EVALI thing that happened in the United States. They kind of say, this thing happened in the United States. It was 100% related to cannabis. It was 100% related to vitamin E acetate. There has not been anything that's happened in the United Kingdom. And that alone should have set off people's alarms, citizens of the United States of America, when you're getting fed information that vaping is somehow causing this. How did nobody look across the pond and go, well, there's a couple million vapors over there and they've been using these products for 10 years without incident. There's a couple million vapors here in the United States that have been using these products for the better part of 10 years without incident. How did the CDC trick people so easily? There has been no similar lung disease outbreak in England. Yep. None. Didn't happen. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Didn't happen in England. So youth vaping in the UK, current vaping prevalence, weekly or less than weekly, and this is kind of going back to what we saw in Missouri, among young people in England has remained reasonably steady at the best recent estimates, putting it about 6% of 11 to 15-year-olds in 2018, 5% of 11 to 18-year-olds 2019. Those numbers go right along with the numbers that are in the CDC 2018 National Youth Tobacco Survey, 2019 National Youth Tobacco Survey, except when Public Health England has numbers like this, they just put it in black and white text in a PDF document that any citizen can read, and it goes 6% of 11 to 15-year-olds in 2018 and 5% of 11 to 18-year-olds in 2019 vaped weekly or less than weekly. This news in the United States, who knows? It would have become, 5 million youths are vaping. And what do we get? We get nicotine affects brain poison. That's what we get. We get these sensationalized, fear-mongering, no real data, no real evidence, no real anything. It's just they want you to be scared and freaking out, and they play this, scare tactic card all the time. It's, it comes to a certain point where you kind of just have to throw your hands up and you go, what the fuck? Not in the UK. They communicate effectively. Vaping remains most common among smokers and former smokers, with less than 1% of people who have never smoked currently vaping. That's another one of those big things that Stanton Glantz used to talk about. Our good old buddy, disgraced and retracted scientist. Stanton Glantz, he was a big proponent of that. He had data. He had studies that showed that youths who pick up e-cigarettes will definitely go to smoking, even though no one did, and youth smoking rates continue to drop. That's weird. That's what we get in the United States. Less than 1% of people who have never smoked. Less than 1%. Perceptions. So this is one of my favorite things ever. This is just one of my favorite things ever because it is such, what do you have to say there, Caleb? The U.S. political The U.S. as political standpoints are idiots. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying that every U.S. political, standpoint are idiots, but a lot of them are, without using the term idiots, probably just misinformed or unaware or ignorant to what they're trying to legislate or ban. And that's the problem. They refuse, they seemingly unwilling to learn about it in any capacity. Subtlety, nuance, those are the words that we keep coming back to. And this is something that was in the UK evidence update. Perceptions of harm from vaping among smokers are increasingly out of line with evidence. The proportion who thought vaping was less harmful than cigarettes declined from 45% in 2014 to 34% in 2019. These misperceptions are regularly common among smokers who do not vape. I think they're being a little bit too generous in saying that these misperceptions come from smokers who do not vape, because sure, I could see a smoker being a smoker, maybe seeing some anti-vaping news and then thinking, well, good thing I'm smoking. Those things will kill you. Vaping, those things will kill you. So yeah, I could see that missing the mark from smokers. But really, I have to think that the reason that people's minds have shifted and why people more people think that vaping is worse than smoking than a few years ago is directly due to the United States of America and our brain poison, flavors hook kids, parents against vaping, youth vaping epidemic, hogwash propaganda bullshit. There's no way that it can't be. That shit leaked all over the world, and it definitely affected the vape markets and people's perceptions. And this is a thing, they're presenting this as a negative thing. They want smokers to believe that vaping is better for them. This is the message that Public Health England is trying to just drill into their citizens' heads. Like, vaping is better. vaping. I don't know what this motion is. That's a drill. I guess with a really long drill bit, just that's the message that they're trying to get home to their citizens. Vapors said that banning flavored liquids would deter them from using vapor products to help them quit or reduce smoking. It could also push current vapors towards illicit products. It's almost as if Public Health England is like reading our tweets. What have we been telling people like Cuomo? What have we been telling people like Whitmer? Look, if you ban these, if you make these vapor products less appealing and less accessible to smokers, then people aren't going to switch. And when they can't get their vapor products, they're going to go back to smoking. What did they say? They fucking called us crazy. Cuomo said, so what? Cuomo said, so what to the Royal College of Physicians, who have done 6 evidence updates since 2015 on vaping and nicotine and tobacco harm reduction. Governor Cuomo, yeah, definitely you should be on the cover of Rolling Stone saying, so what, to literally saving lives. So what? That's what he said, so what to. He said, so what to saving people's lives. Let that sink in a little bit. And here the UK is saying, look, we would definitely never ban flavors because when we talked to the vapors, they said that banning the flavored liquids would push them back to cigarettes or to illicit products. So we're listening. We're not banning flavors. What is this picture? I don't even know. Oh, this is MechMod Mike. Okay, I'm all worked up now, and I just threw this MechMod Mike picture in here. So let's cheer up a little bit and give a shout out to MechMod Mike. MechMod Mike, I appreciate you. This COVID shit has really fucked up my small business. Hope it's over soon. Yes, I want to give a shout out to all the small business owners that are really struggling to get by. If you can, during this time, shop as locally as you possibly can. Try not to go to Amazon. Jeff Bezos doesn't care about you. Jeff Bezos is a billionaire. He doesn't care about you. He's laying off employees. It's like these airline industries and Jeff Bezos, they're getting these bailouts and then they're getting money and then they're like, oh, thank you. Oh, we're still going to lay off all these employees. I think United Airlines, I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with the United Airlines, but United Airlines got a humongous government bailout in order for them to pay their employees, and instead United Airlines just took the money and then fired the employees anyway. I think United Airlines should be put out of business for that move. Personally, that's just me. I just saw a chat that I really wanted to read, and now I can't find it anymore, and that upsets me. GrimmGreen, I've actually had someone tell me that vaping is more dangerous while smoking a cigarette. I couldn't help but laugh in their face. Yeah, I mean, you kind of just... everything we know goes against that. Everything we know goes against that. Someone had asked, yes, Pave. Pave only have 1,000 followers on Twitter. How come they get so much coverage? Pave is funded by Bloomberg. Pave is a Bloomberg-funded grassroots organization. The $60 million or whatever, $600 million. I think it was actually only $60 million. Only $60 million to Mike Bloomberg. The $60 million that he, philanthropied away to people for ending flavored vaping. That was the whole mission of this money. A lot of that money went to Pave. That's how Pave has got so much traction. In fact, I'm convinced that if every vapor stopped following Pave, they wouldn't have any followers left. Vapors make up the majority of Pave's audience, and we are the only ones who are promoting them. If Pave had come out and even with Bloomberg money, if every vapor had just ignored them, there would be no Pave right now. But we can't. We just couldn't. We had to engage. I had to engage. You have to comment. You have to they troll vaping so hard that you can't not engage Pave. This is why I have this as a sticky note on my computer. Please ignore Pave. That is a reminder to me to not engage PAVE. They're useless soccer moms, useless Karens that have this weird mission because their kid probably got a vape. And that made them feel like bad parents because their kid's vaping and under their noses. And so instead of taking that responsibility, they want to punish everybody else. Please ignore PAVE. Just please ignore PAVE. Please ignore PAVE. So, all right, we have one more thing. So that's where we're going to leave UK health, because there is another thing I wanted to get to. Let me read this. Let me end the UK thing with this. Implications. Okay, so this is for, let's just read this. The data presented here, and this is, mind you, at the end of a PDF. This PDF goes into so much more detail and so much more data and so much more information than we have ever received from any organization within the United States. This is more accurate information from Public Health England than has ever been given by FDA, CDC, American Lung Association, American Heart Association, anybody. The data presented here suggests that vaping has not undermined the declines in adult smoking. Increasingly incorrect perceptions among the public about the harms of vaping could prevent some smokers using vaping products to quit smoking. A ban on flavored liquids could have adverse effects and unintended consequences for smokers using vaping products to quit. It should be considered with caution. It should only be considered with caution. That is the official stance of Public Health England, their 6th revision of their e-cigarette vaping nicotine evidence update. Again, evidence updates. United Kingdom, Public Health England, they're studying vaping, man. They're giving us evidence updates on vaping. Not only, and we are, it's hard to express, but read this PDF. I'm going to link to it in the description, but read this PDF. And when you read this PDF, think about the United States and think about right now in 2020, the United Kingdom is years ahead as far as tobacco harm reduction goes. Years ahead as far as, eradicating smoking within our lifetime. The United States is years behind. And we honestly just look and feel like a damn circus because we have billionaires like Bloomberg funding PAVE and these grassroots organizations that Parents Against Vaping. We have Scott Gottlieb talking about the youth vaping epidemic. We have puppets on TV from Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids being puppets. We have Plus Nicotine from the Truth Initiative and all of these scaremongering and fear tactics. And I feel like people in the UK and the Royal College of Physicians and Public Health England are just sitting up there going, what are they doing? What are they doing? Have you seen that? Did you see this? Come watch. The colonies are out of control right now. Out of control. We're eradicating smoking. We want to have a smoke-free country by 2022. United States apparently we just got to get those MSA bonds, and then maybe we could have a smoke-free country, but not before. Not before. New York, California, we need that MSA money, guys. We need that MSA money. Australia is a decade behind. I think, maybe, but Australia, I think, is in a better position than the United States is right now. Australia has some voices of reason there. You guys got like Alex Wodak, and Australia THR. I think Australia is set like a little bit better of a course than the United States is right now. So here's what I wanted to do for the last bit of this. I'm going to read you something. We haven't done a full-on like story time with Grimm Green in a while, but I wanted to read this. What I've been trying to do, more recently with Tuesday Bro Tuesday is not necessarily just kind of sit and read articles, but I want to have more of a discussion around. I don't want to spend the whole time reading the article. I'd like to summarize the article and then we can discuss it, because there's always nuances to it that get, sort of filtered out, especially when you just read headlines. Let me read this. Hang on one sec. Where's this? No. What's this? Is nicotine all that bad? Nope. Where's this? Here it is. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is the big one. This is just a quick little article, I guess it is. I guess it's an article. Taxpayers Protection Alliance. That's where this is published. I'll post a link down in the description to this, and I'm going to be reading this whole thing because it is amazing. This is one of the best things I have ever read. So if you're here, TN Gardner from the chat, kids are attracted to the big clouds, not the flavors. From what I have observed, they think it's fun. So yeah, I don't think it's a really public image we have set. We vape to quit, not to blow clouds. Yeah, although I've never seen kids attracted to big clouds either. They don't care. They think it's dorky, and that's fine with me. I don't care if you think that I'm dorky. I desire that. I want them to think I'm dorky so that they see me vaping and they're like, look at that fucking dork vaping. I don't want to be like that dork. I don't want to be a vapor. That's the goal. I don't really think they're into the clouds, and I don't really even think they're into the flavors. And they're, I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to try to find this clip. But in that White House meeting from last year, you can hear in the background, I don't know who says it. It was a female voice. I don't know who it was. I don't know if she was a PAVE lady or what. But you can hear her whisper in the background to like Secretary Azar saying, the kids are getting high. The kids want to get high. She says it. Nobody addresses it. She's quiet about it. There's this little clip. It's not the flavors. It's not the clouds. Kids want to get high. And dude, I don't blame them. Look, if I was a 12-year-old, we're going late today. If I was a 12-year-old, okay, and one of my friends, I had a friend back in the day, John, we would smoke cigarettes like crazy, smoking cigarettes, butts off the ground. Didn't even matter. Cigarettes. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. If someone had at that time a Juul and I took a big rip on a Juul and it gave me that like crazy, insane, like lightheaded nicotine high that you get from 50 milligrams salt. Yeah, I would have been doing that all the time. All the time. Why not? Of course you would. Of course you would. I would. I don't blame them. They're just dumb kids. They don't know anything yet. They're just dumb kids that don't know anything yet. That's why when you say, who did this? Who did this? Who did this? Was this your fault? Why'd you do this? Just dumb kids. They don't know. They get a little bit high. They're like, hey, this is great. This is great. Same time tomorrow? Yeah, let's do it. I would have done the same thing. I'm going late today? All right. Oh, we're doing going late today t-shirts? That could actually be a pretty smart thing. So, if I could have your attention for like 4 minutes, give me 4 solid minutes. Put down your phones, put down your little TikTok app, put down your vapes. You don't have to put down your vapes. Give me your undivided attention. I don't do this very often, but I'd like your undivided attention, please. Don't make me flip the lights on and off. Remember when that teacher would flip the lights on and off? Everyone's like, whoa, lights. Taxpayer Protection Alliance. This was written by Jeff Steyer, who I just found Jeff Steyer. He's a congressman. He is a congressman, I believe. Just Googled him. I just followed him on Twitter. What are you, Jeff Steyer? No, you're not a nothing. You're not a congressperson. I thought you were a congressperson. Science-based perspective on public health, senior fellow, Consumer Choice Center, policy advisor at the Heartland Institute. So This is what Jeff Steyer has to say. The title of this is Nicotine Policy Should Not Be Exempt from Science. And like I said, this is one of those things where I was trying to read it and like give you guys a condensed, like, here's the Cliff Notes version and here's maybe some good quotes from it and kind of, here's the digestible version. But I couldn't do that with this because it's literally gold from top to bottom, beginning to end. Every word is purposeful and meaningful. It's just fantastic. Nicotine policy should not be exempt from science. There seems to be an inclination among policymakers that adherence to evidence-based policymaking is a luxury we can only afford when not in a crisis. After the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the Centers for Disease Control bungled last year's EVALI outbreak, one might have thought federal officials would have exhibited some humility, or at least limited their statements to those supported by science. But when it comes to tobacco and vaping policy, that's just not the case. According to a March 27th article in Bloomberg News titled "Vaping Could Compound Health Risks Tied to Virus," FDA says. The article said people with underlying health issues. I did that the first 5 times I read this as well. People with underlying health issues such as heart or lung problems may have an increased risk for serious complications from COVID-19. Michael Fellerbaum, an FDA spokesman, said in an email Friday in response to question from Bloomberg. This includes people who smoke and or vape tobacco or nicotine-containing products. E-cigarettes damage lung cells. This is from the FDA. Remember what we just read from Public Health England. This is coming from the FDA. E-cigarettes damage lung cells. That's coming from the FDA. The article went on to report that some health experts have speculated that vaping is causing younger patients in the U.S. to be hospitalized with COVID-19 at a higher rate than anticipated. That's true. There's plenty of speculation. Among those speculating was New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Back on March 8th, the mayor of the city, which would go on to have the worst COVID-19 outbreak in the world, stated that if you are a smoker or vapor, that does make you more vulnerable to the coronavirus. Note that this was 3 days before the mayor advised that New Yorkers who are not sick should be going about your lives and visiting restaurants. Highest confirmed cases in the world, New York State. The FDA's claim that vapors with underlying conditions may have increased risk for serious complications from COVID-19 is just about as useful as stating those people whose last names begin with the letter Z who have an underlying condition may have increased risk for serious complications from COVID-19. Actually, with regard to the allegation against vaping, it's not only useless, it's harmful. The FDA's unsupported allegations is likely to cause vapors to go back to smoking. In fact, in the same article, Bloomberg reported e-cigarettes have been touted by some as less risky than smoking. But any increased harm associated with COVID-19 and the FDA's direct language linking the products to lung damage could boost detractors who have raised questions about the potential that vaping can lead to health problems. And boost detractors, it did. As if on cue, April 1st, a House Oversight Committee wrote to the FDA requesting that the agency immediately remove all e-cigarettes from the market because their presence during this period would exacerbate the coronavirus crisis. House Dems just wasting your money, wasting your time, trying to urge the FDA to immediately ban all e-cigarettes during COVID. That's what they were trying to do. That's what they were trying to do? Everybody should be upset that that's what they were trying to do, that's how they were deciding to waste their time. It took more than 2 weeks and a scathing letter from scientists, policy experts, and Iowa Attorney General Tom Miller for the FDA to attempt to put the genie back in the bottle. In a statement to Bloomberg, the FDA wrote that whether vaping increases the risk of COVID-19 is not known. Did you see how they just backpedaled so hard? If it was not known before, then why would you go and tell people that e-cigarettes is going to make COVID worse? What do you have to gain other than maybe getting people smoking again? I mean, I have no idea other than decimating the vapor industry, which is currently still somehow managing to convert smokers to less harmful vapor products. 2 critical weeks during the early days of COVID-19 outbreak in the U.S., the agency tasked with using science to regulate tobacco products and e-cigarettes issued and allowed a false statement about e-cigarettes and COVID-19, even though they knew they had no evidence to support the statement. Since the onset of COVID-19, conventional wisdom has been that smokers are more susceptible to worse outcomes from COVID-19 because of the damage smoking inflicts on the lungs. So the idea of making baseless statements and potentially removing vaping products from the marketplace in the midst of this crisis seems like an exceptionally reckless idea, as it would send countless former smokers back to cigarette smoking. Already, former smokers are struggling to get their preferred alternative to widely available cigarettes. Some e-cigarettes are available in convenience stores, but federal and state crackdowns and looming regulatory bans have already significantly reduced the range of choices available outside of vape shops, which states don't generally deem essential business. If smoking makes COVID-19 worse, the essential nature of vape shops should be obvious. While much is known about COVID-19, there seems to be one point that most scientists and policymakers seem to agree upon, at least in principle. Policy should be confined to the evidence. There's no reason policy related to nicotine products should be any different. That's spectacular. I love everything about that. Nicotine should not be exempt. These opportunistic politicians who are using right now, man, COVID to ban vaping. House Dems wasting your time and money trying to ban vaping, trying to ban flavors based on, again, fucking nothing. This, based on air, based on zero information, based on zero data, based on zero studies, based on actual nothingness. That they want to, what? Clown world. We live in a clown world. All right. Well, the rage sweat is starting to happen. I feel it. I'm going to have links in the description to literally everything. Whoa, that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. To literally everything I talked about this week. I'm going to finish up this here Tuesday, bro. Tuesday, we're going to do some super chats, and I'm trying my best to get the news that I think is important, and I'm going to try to get it to you guys as quickly as I can and try to explain it in the best way that I possibly can. It's so confusing out there. It's so confusing. You don't even know who to trust anymore. You know, where are you getting your news from? Even I question that constantly. I can't even read an article without having to fact check the article, because the United States, I don't know what it is, we just love telling everybody the wrong shit. It started with clickbait on YouTube, and now we have clickbait sensationalist headlines. And I was going to share a story about, because the headline on it kind of made it seem like cigarette sales were up, right? That's the headline on it, was something like Marlboro sales up or something, right? Turns out that's not the case. It's just Altria overall as a company through various stock buyback, options and things like this. They've managed to turn a profit this quarter. Has nothing to do with the uptick in cigarette smoking, but the headline alone kind of puts it in your head that this is cigarettes. And if you didn't read the article, you could read that headline and walk away thinking cigarette sales are up. And if you had read the article, then you would know that's not true. The headline just kind of made you think that a little bit. Fucking clown world. Fucking clown world. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done being ragey. Let's get to some of these. Let's get to the rest of these super chats, you guys. Thank you so much for coming to hang out and just get a little bit ragey with me, I guess. Get a little bit rage sweat going on. It's up to us to put the truth out into the world, and maybe it's bringing me back to my days with the Lord, but that was a really important thing, and I feel that same thing when I see a smoker. I'm like, here, take all this vaping stuff here, just take it, here's the good news of vaping. We need to spread the good word of our savior nicotine and of our savior vaping. We just need to spread the good word. There's going to be, I don't even need to tell you guys this. There already is constant attacks, constant misinformation. It's up to us. It's up to us. You too, John. Appreciate you, man. Stay hydrated, Hydro homies. Let's do these super chats. Chris Kennedy, very gracious of you. I just had my early checkup, and the doctor said my lungs have never sounded better. She said that you would have never known I was a smoker. And then I had to remind her that I vape and that vaping saved my life. Chris, I love the crap out of that story. I had the exact same experience with my ear, nose, and throat doctor. When I went there, I said, yeah, I smoked for a really, 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 really long time, but I've been vaping for the last 10 years. And he's like, you would have never known you were a smoker. You would have never known you were a smoker. Vaping. Okay, very gracious of you. Sadly, it's literally a foreign concept in the United States. Oh, what? You mean communicating things in a clear and concise way for the citizens to understand and make their own informed decision? That is a foreign concept in the United States? No, I don't believe you. Sarcasm. Southern Comfort, very gracious of you. If I'm going to spend money, $2 would not be enough for someone who has changed my life and ultimately saved it. Love you, bro. Keep fighting the good fight. Southern what the? Here, give me a hug. Give me a fucking virtual hug, Southern Comfort. Thank you. Thank you, Southern Comfort. That means a lot to me. Honestly, I'm happy to have helped out. I just thank you, Southern Comfort. That was very cool. Very cool. Thank you. I didn't change your life. I didn't save your life. You did all the hard work, man. You decided to make that decision. You went to the vape shop or the site and you bought the stuff and you learned how to do it and you took that step. I'll just show you how to fill up the tank. The rest is up to you, So I appreciate that, Southern Comfort. Ranger Man, very gracious of you. I'm an essential worker who not only travels all over New England, but vapes too, and I don't have coronavirus. So I call BS on the Surgeon General's claim. Hey, you and me both, man. You and me both. You essential worker. I hope you're driving around with a mask. We're gonna have Grimm Army masks for sale pretty soon, as soon as we can. So could be a thing, but you're right. Look, I agree with you. Grimm, please check out the National Health Services NHS section on stopping smoking. We have all the stop smoking tools available. They're available in the UK. Yeah, absolutely. 100%, Lee. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The UK, they just, they do things differently. And I'm not saying I want the United States to be like the United Kingdom, but one thing I would like is for anyone in power to be able to just communicate some facts without telling you how to feel about them, without twisting them, without inflating some numbers, without, using it to push your own little agenda there. That's what I would like. Appreciate you, Lee. Thank you. Ranger Man, people against valid evidence. Pave. Oh my God. I'm making a t-shirt. That's going to be a t-shirt, Ranger Man, and I'll send you a free one. People against valid evidence. Oh my God. I love the crap out of that. I'm going to get to work on that t-shirt design literally right after this. Nick, you can't call someone a Karen. It's racist and sexist. Note the sarcasm. Yeah, I've been hearing that too. I don't care. I'll still use the Karen term. It's not racist. It's not sexist. I saw there was an article just the other day where people were like, saying Karen is just as bad as saying the N-word. What? Actually, you know how I know that's wrong? Because you said N-word. And you said Karen. And you dropped a Karen with a hard K. Karen. That's how I know it's not the same. Carl, very gracious of you. Hey, Nick, quick thank you and a couple of bucks for some brews. Always. All of this seems like common sense, but it won't be unless people like you keep shining a light on it. So please say at it, let's keep on vaping. I'm trying my best, Carl. I appreciate that. Absolutely, let's keep on vaping. 100%, let's keep on vaping. I'm not going to be without it. Nick, very gracious of you. You changed your YouTube avatar, and I noticed. Nick, today I found my doctor didn't pull through after fighting the virus for weeks. He saved my life and any others. Can we shout out Dr. James Bowdwin for being one of the few pro-vape? Wow. Your doctor got COVID and died. Well, this is for Dr. James Bowdwin. Dr. James Bowdwin, rest in peace. You saved Nick's life. Stan, very gracious of you. Lack of communication, the root of most issues. Yes. Lack of communication. Stan, you don't know how true that rings. You don't know how true that rings. Or maybe you do, and that's why you said it. But man, that rings true. Man, that rings true. And then finally, one last super chat from Stan, Tenacious TX Vapes, which, by the way, Stan, I was using this unicorn mod for like 4 days, bro. And then now it's not getting used, but I was using it. I just want you to know that. Okay, Karen? Okay, thanks, Stan. Appreciate that. Anyway, thank you guys. Damn, seriously, so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. You know, like I said, I like this Tuesday Bro Tuesday stream. I like that this is like the news free-for-all stream. What I try to do is I try to track down like the most interesting and relevant news that I can possibly find that I think that would benefit the world, that would benefit the community. It's always going to be vape focused, nicotine focused, harm reduction focused, and that's what we do here on Tuesday Bro Tuesdays. That's what we do. And honestly, if you guys run across anything that blows your mind, like a crazy article that blows your mind, feel free to send it on over to me. You know, feel free. I'm always on the lookout. I had, the thing is, Tuesday Bro Tuesday, in order to discuss everything I had set out to discuss, it would need to be like a 5.5 hour stream. And that's just not possible. There was like 4 more articles I wanted to talk about. Maybe more articles than that I wanted to talk about. But you know what? It's okay. It's fine. We're here and this is what we're doing. So I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to say thank you so much. I'm going to say hit that like button if you're here and you enjoy what you're watching. And even if you don't enjoy what you're watching, you hit the like button anyway. Just give me a little like. That would really help out. Very much appreciated. And yeah, I think we're all done here. I will see all of you guys on Thursday for the vlog, 4:30 p.m. Should be another fun action packed. Anyway, thank you guys. Seriously, so much for coming out. Nothing but love, nothing but respect for you guys. And remember, no matter what anybody tells you, absolutely, you guys, definitely keep on vaping. And hang on, I have to wait to see. This would have been a better ending, but I'm going to have to do the outro. Okay, be excellent to each other, guys. Peace.